to, lube you up before they ease it in, you know?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So characters.
No, characters. Don't lube the
At
characters.
least John laughed.
Don't lube the characters.
I didn't loot the characters. I looted the
Experience.
Story.
of the
You
story.
just looted the story.
Yeah.
Cass, don't.
I didn't loot the story. I looted the rising and falling action in the climax.
Giggity.
I have to make one sex joke per episode, and I couldn't find a good way to do it in Yuru camp.
I mean, we are explicit rating. It's true.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
Hello, and welcome to Annie Chatbox, episode 75. I will be your host this time, Cassie. I haven't done this in so long, I probably have forgotten how to do so I'm going to do my Rue bestie. Anyway, before we go ahead and introduce everybody else at the table, just wanted to get the social links out of the way. Bing, bang, boom. You can see us, talk to us in very short form at twitter.com/AnnieChatbox, or, retweet our episodes, give us some support. We'll take anything at this point. We're very, very desperate. Anyway, also you can email us at anniechatmail@gmail.com. That's anniechatmail@gmail.com. We do actually have a few emails we are coveting to read aloud soon, but if you want to add to that docket, go ahead and shoot us an email there. And if you'd like to listen to us, you can do so at iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, or SoundCloud. Also, we have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. And once again, we wanted to toss out a big old thank you to CorpsyAnn. I don't remember her exact link, but it should still be in the description. She's great. She's awesome. She's our only patron, and that makes her the best patron.
Indeed.
Moving on, the one who just spoke with her beautiful voice of an angel.
Oh,
My friend. My beautiful, wonderful prince, Cammy.
oh my gosh, that's never going to end. Hello, everybody. I am here to rescue you from whatever plight you might be dealing with by offering you a simple hour, maybe 2 hours, of some time talking about anime with very good people.
Damn. Well, try and outdo that, John. You're up.
Welcome to the Secret
Ooh.
Society of Blankets.
Yes!
Now we're just going to get attacked for trademarks and copyrights from Laid Back Camp. They're just going to be like, we did it first.
Yes, I am.
God damn it, Akio! I'm trying to be a prince here!
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, it's like there can only be one prince. Got jealous.
There can only be one. And one of the princes that I live with, good old Gregory.
Aw.
I recently watched the Utena movie. That thing was fucking wild. Yo, look forward to the Save Our Progress episode where we talk about that this week.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's SoundCloud.com/Save Our Progress. And it's going to be great. Me and Zach will talk about it for like a good hour. And oh boy, it's fun.
I listened to your guys' most recent episode where you talked about Evo, or Pete talked about Evo.
Oh, good.
But it was it was a pretty cool episode, so definitely go check them out. We'll plug them again at the end of the podcast. And don't worry, you're a prince too in my heart, John. We're all princes here.
Yay.
But yes, we have a lovely double up episode today, and what might that be, you might ask, if you've never listened to one of them before. It's when we are way too good to the anime that we get throughout the year that we overload ourselves and have to review two at the same time. So today we will not be having a topic, we'll be jumping right into our reviews. The first one we're going to do is Yuru Camp or Laid Back Camp, and then we're going to do a place within the universe. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that we will not be doing any spoilers for Laid Back Camp. So you don't have to worry about jumping around or getting spoiled or anything like that. But there will be one for a place further than the universe. So if you are interested in that, it will be towards the end. We will warn you. No harm, no foul, unless you're not listening. And then that's your own damn fault. So I'm just going going to go ahead and ease us right in. This may or may not be a quick episode, depending on how much we joygasm or hate the following animes. We'll see how everybody goes. The first one up to bat, like I said before, is Yuru Camp, or Yuru-kyan, or kan in Japanese with a little triangle, which I think is supposed to be a tent, which is super cute. Or also known in English as Laid Back Camp. Honestly, the title is already pretty intriguing if you do so ask me. I'm ready. Let's go take a nap. Podcast over. We're done.
Bless.
That was easy. Now, if we were going to continue talking, though, I would have to mention that the studio is C Station, which, when I was looking up this information earlier, I was like, crap, I can't remember what C Station has done. I'm such a bad anime fan. And then I realized I literally did not know anything they had done, so I feel a little less bad, but still like a terrible anime fan, because I obviously should have seen these following works of art, such as Seikoku no Dragonar, Star Mew, and Hakyu Hoshin Engi, or Engi.
Oh, I love that. That's like my favorite show ever.
Really? Would you like to give us a synopsis?
I don't fucking know. I was actually in a fever dream when I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. That's right.
Sounds like me watching Yamibo. I still can't tell you what that anime was about.
Fever dream.
I have nightmares about that anime.
A hat. Bodacious babe with a hat.
Wake up in the middle of the night, but what did it mean?
Bless.
But we're not talking about Yamibo, we're talking about Yuru Camp, or Laid Back Camp, which I will go ahead and quickly give you the synopsis before we delve into our thoughts. The synopsis goes as such via my anime list. While the perfect getaway for most girls her age might be a fancy vacation with their loved ones, Rin Shima's ideal way of spending her days off is camping alone at the base of Mount Fuji. From pitching her tent to gathering firewood, she has always done everything by herself and has no plans of leaving her little solitary world. However, what starts off as one of Rin's usual camping sessions somehow ends up as a surprise get-together for two, when the lost Nadeshiko Kagamihara is forced to take refuge at her campsite. Oh, I like that. Get-together for two. That's adorable. Anyway. Originally intending to see the picturesque view of Mount Fuji for herself, Nadeshiko's plans are disrupted when she ends up falling asleep partway to her destination. Big mood, really. Alone, and with no other choice, she seeks help from the only person nearby. Despite their hasty introductions, the two girls nevertheless enjoy the chilly night together, eating ramen and conversing while the campfire keeps them warm. And even after Nadeshiko's sister finally picks her up that night, both girls silently ponder the possibility of another camping trip together. That's a cute little synopsis. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the show, everyone. Moving on.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I think that actually summarizes the story, like, pretty well. I think the great thing about Laid Back Camp, and we can roll into everybody else's thoughts, is that this isn't really a story-based anime. The most plot you get is the interactions between these two girls and everybody else in the cast, including a club. What was the name of their club? The Outdoor Club or something like that?
Outdoor Activities Club.
That's it.
Yeah, something like that. And then their teacher that they get towards the very end, and then one of Ren's friends. And that's basically the main cast. And the whole show is just about their interactions and going camping. I don't know what else to say about the story.
Yeah,
Guys?
I kind of love the fact that there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't really a forced narrative. And you know what's interesting is I thought that they were going to try to do a forced narrative about Rin's view of camping, like how she enjoys camping. I thought they were going to push for like, oh, well, you know, like a lot of shows of this nature do. Friendship is everything and friendship conquers all. But like there's no moral that forces itself on this show, which is so nice. Mm-hmm. It's just people living their lives and enjoying their lives. And it was just, I loved it, honestly. Like, I don't really have any complaints. I think it all gelled very nicely.
It's the most slice of life show I've watched in a
Yes!
while.
Yes!
How'd you guys feel about it?
The most I can think of in sort of like a narrative that I noticed at all was more to do with individual characters' development. Because some of the characters start off like set in their ways about like I do it this way and I don't want anyone interfering with that, and then ultimately opening up and accepting, okay, no, this isn't the only way that I can do this, and there is enjoyment in doing things other ways, as influenced by the others around them. But yeah, for the most part, there's not really much of a narrative to go by.
I'd argue that isn't even part of the narrative. I'd argue that that just is what it is.
Yeah,
it just happens. It's not something that I would even define as a narrative.
No.
At all, really. It just kind of happens. Like, the progression of the characters is just the progression of the characters.
Yeah.
They're not moving along a storyline, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
Well, before I bring that up, I had some fun facts I wanted to bring to the table. First and foremost, for both of these productions and these shows, they were co-financed by Crunchyroll. So they footed the budget to these production companies for both of these shows. The director of the show, I've now taken to looking up credits, guys, and this is fun. Director is Yoshitake Kyogoku, which is honestly his first debut. He only worked as key animation and directed a singular episode of Blood Plus. The head scriptwriter is Jin Tanaka. He did the screenplay and the head composition of Kira Kira Precure a la Mode and Go Princess Precure. And Akiyuki Tateyama for the music, he did Kimono Friends and Shimoneta. I haven't seen Kimono Friends, so I can't say they're similar, but Shimoneta's composition sounds different. That being said, one last fun fact here. The girls' surnames are all named after locations in Japan.
Yeah, they put that at the end of one of the episodes.
It was really fucking cool to figure that out. I'm like, holy shit, that's actually pretty rad.
They have like little tiny skits at the end of every episode after the credits, and that was one of the skits. But
yeah, basically I agree with all your old sentiments. It's not really too complex of a show to watch. It's just really, as you all said, it's everyone, their lives is like people getting closer over this mutual interest in camping during the winter time and actually trying to get side jobs in order to pay for their camping gear and learning what a budget is and saying, oh man, this sleeping bag is pretty expensive. I bought it. Bam! I used my hard-earned money to do this. And again, as John said, it's certain characters are like, I'm set in my ways, but you know what? There are other ways to enjoy camping as a group.
Well, and what I liked, that's what I was trying to get at before, is I like that they didn't necessarily say, no, Rin, you're wrong. It's kind of that both of these ways could be enjoyed. Like that, I think that's kind of brilliant, because a lot of anime will try to ham-fist one opinion or one moral, but this show was just so chill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, like, by the end, Nadeshiko, who's obviously way more, well, I wouldn't say way more into group camping, but she does it more often with others, is trying to solo camp on her own as well.
Yeah.
It's not even really a spoiler, it's just, it is what it is. Like, they all try out different things in different ways, and I don't think, honestly, Rin ever said that solo camping is the only way. Like, she never said that. Just for her personally, that's what she enjoyed. She's a more solitary person.
Yeah, it's quiet and peaceful.
Yeah, and I think it has, and I don't even think it definitely even comes down to her preference in camping. It's just her lifestyle.
Yeah.
I remember there's an episode where she has a present for somebody, and she doesn't feel like giving it to them because then she'd have to interact with other people around that person. She's like, oh god, that's just such a bother. So I don't think that it even comes down to her philosophies on camping. I think it's just the kind of person she is.
Yeah.
I can get
Which
that.
helps us transition into characters.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Rin is
Who are your
best
favorite
girl.
characters, guys?
Oh, damn. You beat me to it.
I know. It's almost like I'm hosting this episode.
Some bitch.
Rin is best girl.
No way.
What's that, John?
Yeah.
Rin is best girl.
Oh, why do you think so?
I just really latched onto her. Like, some of the things you did was like, I get you. Like, so I did, when I was listening to the QA test of last episode, everyone pointed out that I was going camping at Tokonatsu, and like as soon as I got back, I was like, okay, right, time to watch anime about other girls camping to actually get caught up on it. And then there was like these moments where Rin got a package and was like, what is this? Oh, it's the thing I ordered. The thing I ordered for when I go camping. And I get you, because I work at Lidl, and every so often we get like camping gear or stuff that's in some way I go like, that will help me for Taco. That will help me for Taco. I'll just be looking at the stuff that comes in and I'll have it in my back of my head. Like, is anything here gonna be good for when I go Taco next year? And yeah, I end up buying a lot of stuff that like may or may not come in use of when I go Taco. And that was one thing that I specifically latched onto Rin about. But they're all good girls. Just Rin is best girl.
I mean, that you could apply that to the other outdoor club girls too. Like, they're pretty knowledgeable as well. I think the only person who's really winging it and not knowing what she's doing is Nadeshko. And she learns.
She learns.
I think part of the fun is the outdoor group is them being knowledgeable, but having to work with stuff that they don't have. Because Rin, she's been camping for so long and she has family that camps, that they have a lot of utensils already available to her. Not that she doesn't go and get her own, but these girls are poor and they're trying to work their jobs, but they also have to like find ways to, like, for example, heat a sleeping bag. And that was hilarious.
My God.
But I also loved Rin too.
Yeah. I'm with John that Rin was my favorite. I think that you exemplified a lot of the really good reasons about her, so I'll just mention a couple things. She's extremely aesthetically pleasing with her pretty blue hair and like all the hairstyles she has and her cute outfits. And she is just like me in how much she loves dogs, and like every single scene where she like gets excited about a dog, I just like had this spiritual awakening inside me and I just loved it. And I also just like the fact that she is kind of presented as a typical like quiet girl, but she's got so much personality that you just see in these little bursts that feel so genuine. And I absolutely loved that. And yeah, she was my fave too.
I loved watching her text people.
Yes!
Yeah!
Especially her texting her, oh god, what was the short-haired girl's name with the dog?
Anna.
One of their interactions was classic.
Psycho.
Yes, with Anna.
Yes. Yeah, those, and you could just see how close friends they were because of how they're text. And it started to get that way with Nadeshko towards the end, too. Like, this subtle sarcasm Rin has is so good.
It's so good, yes.
What about you, Craig? Who was your favorite character?
Nadeshko, she sold it.
I feel like we're split. We're split. We got 2 Rin faves and 2 Nadeshko faves.
We have 2 camps in this camp for Yuru camp.
I mean, they're basically girlfriends anyway, so it works fine.
I just like to, again, to kind of say what Kame was saying about Rin. I thought Nadeshko is just like that pink hair and like her over-eager, like Genki attitude, and like the fact that she loves to eat everything. I'm like, oh, big mood.
Doesn't matter what she eats, it looks delicious, and it makes. If you're watching this series for the first time, grab a snack.
Oh, please, you have to.
Just do yourself a favor and grab snacks, because you're gonna be hungry by the end of every single episode.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll space it out, and then for like 2 to 3 episodes back to back to back, they'll have nothing but like delicious food they either buy or they make themselves, which is a neat little thing that we can point out later when I guess we're talking about production or other things that aren't the characters. But I was also a huge fan of Nadeshko as well.
Yeah,
I loved her aesthetic. I loved her outfit. Like her winter outfit. I want so bad. I want to buy it. I want to wear it.
Cosplay,
I want it in
Cassie.
my life and
Cosplay.
my wardrobe. Maybe someday. I actually was having this conversation with Dominic while we were walking to the store last night, and I was like, I want to buy Nadeshko's outfit. One, because it would be an easy cosplay, and also because I would wear that all the fucking time. It gets so much use.
A lot of flannel, a lot of like heavy, like you would probably sweat.
Well, she doesn't wear flannel, really. I'm talking about her like regular winter with like the shawl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the hat. I mean, yeah, she does have some flannel, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like her main outfit that she wears when she camps with her like floppy hat and shawl. But I also just found her really relatable, especially with how much she eats and how derpy she is about spending money and how frugal she is about spending money and being awkward about it.
It's funny to kind of go off of that just real quick. I find it interesting that they had to actually go out of their way to go get part-time jobs to finance all of their activities. The school didn't hand them a budget. In fact, their school club is literally a closet with like books in it.
It's because they don't classify as a club.
Yeah, because they need more members.
Yeah, you need at least a specific... And I think that this is brought up in lots of different school anime.
Yeah.
Is that there's these circles, and then there's club... And then, like, depending on the school, you may or may not get a budget. And I think that they were given some stuff. But not nearly enough to be able to go out on camping trips. As somebody who has recently bought camping gear that has nothing to do with this show...
Clearly.
It can get pricey. I got lucky.
Yep.
I bought a tent that's normally like $100, and I got it for $50. Like, it's expensive.
Yeah.
To go camping, especially when you're in high school and even working a part-time job. You're not gonna make that much money.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of yen.
But it added to the cute little comedy. It never was like a detriment to the show. Like, oh no, we have to go and oh no, we have to have this side story now where we all get part-time jobs and it eats up an entire episode. No, it was just something that was going on in the background.
Yeah,
in
I
their daily
liked
lives.
it as like flavor text.
It made it more normal.
Yep.
I also really liked, when, sometimes people were at each other's house, somebody else was working.
Mm-hmm.
Or so on and so forth. It was pretty neat. It made them real.
Yes.
Yeah, not everyone was available 100% of the time. Like, oh, where's this person? At their job. Oh,
And
okay.
they were texting each other the entire time.
It might cut to them, yeah.
Another thing I really liked with Rin, too, is, like, as a character, her interactions with the other characters felt very natural because, of course, her friend that she was close to, she was more quickly to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, she was not very big on talking to Nadeshiko either, but by the end, she's able to walk up to her and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then after one of Nadeshiko's friends, to not spoil, helps her out, she starts to really be able to go, oh, okay, I like this girl too, when she ends up in a rut on a trip. So it's just her interactions with other people are very natural and nice.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
I also really like the fact that Nadeshiko was able to, like, not Nadeshiko, Rin, anytime someone else got hold of Nadeshiko's phone and started texting in her place, it's like, you're not Nadeshiko, are you? Just instantly.
Oh, yeah!
Help me, please.
Random mention of drunk teacher is also great.
Oh, yeah.
She is great.
Oh, God.
I was kind of annoyed when a character got introduced towards the end of the series because I was like, oh no. They're not going to have enough time to make this person a character. And then she was a character. And she was fun. She had like one gimmick, but it was funny.
She was a one-trick pony, but damn it, if she'd added to the background of all the scenes.
Yeah, her wanting to go out with the girls was nice. It's nice that, somebody who was actually interested in their...
Listen, beef.
In their craft
beef,
of camping.
beef and beer. Beef and beer.
Is it?
Beef and beer, that's words to live by.
Yeah.
At one point, wasn't it like bacon and beer? And I feel
believe
like
so.
I really
Yeah.
wanted some bacon at that point. I was like, damn, get me that in a cider right now.
Oh, God, yes. It was so good.
Mhm.
But yeah. There is a small cast of characters here, but they're all pretty lovable. And my favorite thing about Yuru Camp, I can't say they really fit stereotypes.
No,
They just seem
don't.
like normal girls. There was no tsundere. You could argue that like Rin's like a kudere, but I don't believe that. She seems like a normal person.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, she like appears to be the kind of kudere, but she's got so much personality. And I mean, I think you could say the same for like Nadeshiko as like a air quotes like Genki type, like
Yeah.
they all expand way beyond what you might think of them.
Yeah, like she to me, she doesn't seem like, oh, trademark Genki. She seems like, oh, she's a very hyper young lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's another nice little thing about this show and its characters.
Yeah.
Production guys.
Production.
The food looks so fucking good.
The food. For it being, what'd you say, the studio, C Studios, first foray?
C Station, I believe. And it's not their first.
Oh, sorry.
They've done other stuff. It's just stuff I didn't know.
Well,
They've done
damn.
a lot.
It looked good. Crunchy Gim probably helped again with the financing, but man, did it fucking look good. Characters' designs look cute.
Can I just shout out their outfits, because that was a huge thing that I loved, is they all had such unique, like, wardrobes. They changed, their hairstyles were worn, like, so many different ways. It was awesome, and it just, like, I really added to the experience.
Yeah, so many anime, they're like, okay, this is their school outfit, and this is their casual outfit. And they only wear the two. But this series didn't do it. Yeah, you've got school outfit, but even like how they wore their hair while they were in their school outfits would change. But then you got their casual outfits, and I don't think they wore the same outfit more than once. You might say like the same coats, because who has 100 different coats in general? But
I do.
Damn, cats.
Admittedly, I've got a few coats, but like I pretty much just wear the one all the time, and just haven't gotten rid of the old ones because they're still good.
Well, I think their clothes also add to the narrative too, because like they would wear stuff that would fit the camping setting they were in.
Yeah, and the season.
Cool. It was a nice touch of detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. And the character designs, like, weren't anything like super duper unique, but they were all really charming and like showed each of the characters' personalities well. And I loved how colorful they all were. Like the use of color in this show, it just popped.
Bright colors have popped,
And scenery.
Oh, good point.
Scenery.
You want to see a lot of scenery porn and Mount Fuji. They're Shinkai. They were like, man, we can pull Shinkai, can't we? We can do it. We can do it.
Okay, I wouldn't say it's the level of Shinkai.
No, but it's really damn good.
But it's nice scenery, like, and I think that's what's great is that like you'll have this like really nice scenery, and then these, for all intents and purposes, very moe looking characters interacting with it, and it's surprisingly nice. I liked it a lot. Two detriments to it though. I hated that they had. I mean, because this isn't a very high. I don't know. I don't think it was a very. It didn't seem like it would be a very high production show. And I know that everybody and their mom wants to use CG these days, but I hated that every time Rin was on her motorcycle, it completely broke the illusion for me.
Oh yeah, her moped.
Oh.
And weird driving.
It drove me nuts.
Yeah, and weird scenes where she's driving, it'll like random shots will show her driving in CG, but then when she gets a close up of her, like
random close up 2D. It was very strange.
It
annoyed me.
I'll have to rewatch it. I think probably it's funny because the only other show I can think of that had really bad motorcycle CG is spoiler Girls Last Tour. So I didn't notice it in Yuru Camp, but I'll go back and check.
From what little I've watched, it's also very evident in Kino's journey. Like for some reason, like nobody actually wants to animate cars anymore, which is fine because cars, mopeds, bicycle, like they're hard, and like it's for a long time. Like CG has been used for those things. Yeah. A very long time. And that's fine. It's just, I guess for me with Yuru Camp, it's just, I was enjoying everything that's on screen so much that it irked me a little. It's like a pet peeve. It's like that weird, you're walking down the hallway and suddenly you hear somebody scratching their nails on the chalkboard. And you're like, I've got to ignore this and keep walking.
That's so
This is a nice school building.
At least it wasn't prolonged, the shots. At least it wasn't prolonged.
No. Also, they use stills a lot, but I was okay with it. Yeah. Because it's a slice of life production. Stills are fine. So I did notice they were there. But other than that, the CG is the only thing that bothered me occasionally. And it was almost always on vehicles.
Yep.
Almost always.
That's true.
So it's not that bad. Just one thing.
I noticed during, maybe it was like episode 9 or 10 or so, there were like a couple later episodes where the style looked like slightly janky, like a little bit off, and then there were a little more stills. I would go, that was back when Mal was still alive, rest in peace is my anime list, but I would go into the forums and other people were like, yeah, did this episode just look off? And I think what it was is that it was an episode that maybe, you know, they took it to a lesser known studio to help like animate through the keyframes and stuff. So it's natural. Like I noticed it a little bit, but again, really not a huge detriment to the show.
Yeah, especially because the show isn't here to be a visual masterpiece.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a cute girls doing cute things show.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't need to be beautifully animated. It just sucks because, for the most part, it's very fluidly and nicely animated.
Yeah.
So when these little things do happen, it's just kind of like an eye twitch thing, but it's not like bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a question. What did you guys think of the random narrator that popped in and out of the show?
I liked him.
Is it bad that I loved him?
No, not
I
at all.
thought he was great.
He added
Especially
emphasis.
And he always came in on like one of my favorite songs in the soundtrack, that I love that fucking song. Like, I very rarely click onto a track because I'm bad with music. I don't tend to like soundtracks. And I guess I'm wandering off into music. But the narrator was always accompanied with that, and it also was a track that was used very frequently on the show.
Mm.
And I was like, this is so nice. I'm having such a good time. And the narrator added to it. So did, like, sometimes the inanimate objects talking.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
the
gosh,
pine
like
cones.
setting the pine cones on fire, and they're like, it burns!
And they'd be like, yo,
Yep.
hey.
Or there was one time when Rin, like, drove really far away and her moped was like, I'm beat.
Yep.
I love it so much.
It's cute.
It was just a cute little attention to detail.
Mm.
What did you think of the narrator?
I really enjoyed the narrator.
I didn't really know how to handle it, I think, at first, and it was a little distracting, but then is it like, and I think also my worry was, I was like, oh my god, is this going to be like every episode all the time? But like, the narrator kind of just popped in and out at like opportune times, and yeah, I grew to like it too. I thought it was fun.
I also like that he almost always ever came in to explain something that you wouldn't otherwise know unless you were a camper yourself, which is really nice. Like, oh, she's making this food. This is how she's doing it. Or, oh, she's setting up these particular things this way. Or, they're using this piece of camping equipment. Which is nice because I don't have that nice narrator when I'm watching March comes in like a lion going, when you move this shogi piece, it means this.
Oh, yes.
So it's nice that it wasn't, and to be fair, I don't want that in March comes in like a lion. Please.
Are you sure
That'd be
you
so
are
terrible.
you sure you
Like-
don't want Yu-Gi-Oh style commentary from the Peanut Gallery for their shogi matches?
And you know what, that'd be hilarious though. Can you imagine like the Yuru Camp soundtrack, that song with the announcer going, and then Ray moved this piece here.
No.
This is what it means.
Oh no.
Secret Society blankets.
That was the best also. Can we just...
Yeah.
Yes.
Secret Society
Yeah.
blanket. It recruits new members.
I like that the show is encouraging people who are interested in camping or trying to camp or learn to camp can pick up these little tidbits.
Yeah.
Like, they teach it to you a little bit, but not so much that's what the show's about. And I liked it. I also liked the Heya camps at the end.
The
Oh,
witch...
yeah.
The room camps.
Yeah, I like
They were
those.
the skits at the end of the show
Yes!
after the ED.
They're little
Yes.
factoids or something.
It wasn't even just little factoids. It was like the little moomy moment, or when they were talking
moomy.
about their names and how they were different prefectures or parts of a prefecture or whatever. Like the little skits at the end.
Yep. I like those. Those are cute.
They were called Heya Camp.
Because you
Okay.
mentioned a soundtrack piece that you liked, I really liked the track that was like, Yuru, Yuru, Yuru. They just like sang it very gently in the background. It was so cute. And then Get like noticed and he's like, oh, they're saying Yuru. And I was like, ah! They are. It's so good.
The soundtrack as a whole just gave me like Animal Crossing or
Yes.
Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley vibes. I'm just like, fuck, man. Just trying to pick out the instruments in this. This is like acoustic guitar. It's just
They had
so
the like kitty recorder
zen.
and I love that.
Yeah.
And this one
Loved
that
it.
was like whistling and just like so many good sound.
Yes.
That's the one. That's the
That
one.
one is
I can't whistle today.
that one is
Bleh.
Animal Crossing as fuck.
I can't whistle today. Fuck, I normally can. I need practice. Whatever.
I think we're all
So
trying to do
awesome.
that.
I got nothing.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like, overall, I don't know what else to say
yeah.
about Eurocamp.
I'm the
It's
same.
like, does anybody else have any specific factoids they want to talk about or bring up?
Nope.
I'd Well, Cassie, and then I guess you can bring up your personal situation, but like the fact that this show just made me, like, they made curry ramen, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna make curry ramen, and I went to H Mart and bought ingredients and made curry ramen is awesome. And the show has also prompted you to like take action upon watching it, correct?
Correct. And I was going to bring that into my rating, so I might do that. Is everybody else ready for rating?
Yep.
I just wanted to mention about how it makes me really want to do camp food, but the only we're not allowed to bring camping stoves to Toko, and the closest thing we can do is roasting marshmallows over fire and sort of doing the s'mores just the way that they did, because we don't have access to the proper proper crackers for s'mores.
Graham crackers?
We don't have graham crackers here unless you go to like
What a
import
sad
stores
world
where
you
they're
live in.
where they're stupidly expensive. Though I have had proper
I only
s'mores now,
jest.
because one store did have like s'mores kits and they're actually really cheap. So I was like, yoink, I will buy 5 of these.
I also sent you s'mores Pop-Tarts many years ago.
Yes, you did. So I have had
Aw.
s'mores now.
Actually, this brings up another cute little story, and then I'll roll into my rating. But Dominic pointed out to me when we were watching this, he's like, did you know one of our earliest interactions was about s'mores? And then he pulled it up, and it was actually many years ago. Randomly, he had started talking about s'mores Pop-Tarts. And then I'll have to send it to you guys later, but I just re-commented on it at one, like, yesterday, and I was like, also, these are still amazing, and he replied with humble beginnings, because that's around the time we started talking more.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. But yes, Yuru Camp is a delightful little title. It's very comfy. It's surprising the word comfy has not been used very much in this review. But that's what it is. It's comfy. It's great. It's one of those shows that you can drink some hot cocoa, lean back, pull your significant other, your friend, your mom, your stuffed animals, whatever, close to you, and just enjoy each other's company and relax. It's a good show. I liked it a whole lot. And it also inspired me to go buy my own camping gear. Because I was talking to my sister, and I was like, hey, I was watching this show. It makes me want to camp. And she's like, well, let's do it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
And then I bought a tent and some tent things that were on sale and a lantern that you can hang from the ceiling. And I was like, let's go camping. So we're going to do it in like September or October. And Craig's going to come too. And Dominic's going to come. And I told him, I was like, I just spent lots of money on this tent. I hope you know we're going to have to camp more than once. I hope we actually do. I also have Yuru Camp as my wallpaper on my phone. I also pre-ordered some keychains.
And a wallet.
And a wallet. And I have an Nadeshko Nendroid just open in a tab because she sold out. But the moment she goes on sale, October 31st, you bet I'll have that Hobby Link Japan link open.
Yes.
Hoping to God I can get her, because she is the cutest looking little thing I ever did see. So yeah, I really love this show a lot more than I thought I was going to initially. I actually put it on hold after like 5 episodes, and I think it was just because I wasn't in the mood.
Mhm.
Not that I thought it was bad, I watched 5 episodes, I was like, this is really comfy. I want to feel comfy again later. So then I put it on pause, and then I started it almost over with episode 3 with Dominic and watched it through, and I was like, I'm having such a relaxing time. I had the most comfy weekend. So I was going to give the show a really high like it, and then I realized how much money I spent on it in the last 24 hours plus the camping gear, and I'm like, maybe I love this show.
Yeah, I was about to
I love
say.
the show a lot.
Once you bought the gear, I was like, your rating on Kitsu does not reflect your financial purchases.
Well, here's the thing. Objective ratings do not necessarily reflect how... I've never really had a show's rating overall effectively not always show what I think objectively versus subjectively.
Yeah.
I think that Yuru Camp, as a show by itself, with its animation, soundtrack, and everything else, is a 7.5.
Yeah.
I think it's an above-average production of a cute girls doing cute things show.
Yeah.
And if you do not like cute girls doing cute things, I don't think this show does enough different to make you like it over other cute girls doing cute things shows.
No.
However, I do think it has an added charm that resounded with me personally.
Yeah, I can get that.
So that just goes to show, and that's why we swapped to this kind of rating system. what you feel objectively or subjectively may not be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Who's next? Not Cammy, because she passed the show.
Yes.
I'll go then.
Oh, wait, before you go. Recommendation. I forgot. We do those now.
Yep.
I told everybody to get them before the show, and then I forgot.
We will
A
adjust.
show like that gave me a very similar feeling, I'll just do this very quickly, was Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, or Kobayashi no Maid Dragon, I think is the Japanese title. We reviewed it many episodes ago. But it was very good. Go listen to the full review to see our full recommendations and thoughts upon it. But I think it's got a very similar comfy feel. And gave me some moments where I just wanted to chill and take a nap on Toru's lap. It also gave me some nice little feels about interacting with friends and especially like an unconventional family, which I think Yuru Camp kind of turned into with the girls. So there you go. All right, Craig, now you can go.
Yuru Camp was a delight. I watched episode 1 way back when with Cass and Suki when we went to go see Mary in the Witch's Flower back in like March or February. And then I kind of put it on hold because I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to like this show because it's probably just cute girls doing camping things. Boy, howdy, did I binge the fuck out of this show on like Thursday or Friday. And I'm like, actually, no, it was probably even earlier in the week when I was binging the crap out of it because, yeah, wow, it took me by surprise. I just thought the energy, the positivity, the like friendly nature of all the characters got to me. And again, it was just made me kind of think to myself, man, this is kind of how my stepdad feels about camping, where he just loves to do it and take photos and just post every photo on Facebook, where I'm like, I wish I could get into camping. I mean, I would only be in it for the scenery, but god damn it, if set up and tear down is a bitch. Point is, I really like the show. I kind of, again, the objective versus subjective thing, like my Kitsu rating is a 7, but I kind of went back and forth between 7 and an 8. Ultimately just kind of settled on a 7. Again, really liked it. If you, again, as Cass said, if you aren't really a fan of the cute girls and the hook of it being camping, and if you don't really care to watch cute girls doing camping things, then, keep on keeping on. There are other shows out there, dog. Another show that you can watch that is similar to that is, Working. That's, again, a daily lives of people just not camping, obviously working in a restaurant. It's not really too deep. There's some cutesy romance. Not to say that Yuru Camp or Laid Back Camp has romance, but hey, it's daily lives, y'all, and it's cute. That's all
Nice.
I got.
Nice.
I suppose I'm next, therefore. This series, to quote someone on Kitsu when this show first started airing, it's comfy out of 10. Comfy out of 10.
Out of 10.
Which is why I was holding off on saying the word comfy, because I was saving it for it.
Well, too bad I said it first.
Oh, she beat you.
She did. But yeah, it's not like the highest quality production or anything, but it doesn't need to be. It's comfy. And like sort of I go camping near enough once a year for Tokunatsu. The only reason why I can't say once a year is because there's been the occasional time that Tokunatsu hasn't happened because of reasons beyond our control, but yeah. But this has left me thinking, you know what, if it was just a bunch of friends going, let's go fucking camping. Not for Tokunatsu, just like all just grabbing shit and finding a nice scenic spot and then plopping down a tent and hanging out for a night or two. I'd probably 100% be up for that. Assuming it is with good company. I couldn't solo camp. I would not be able to solo camp, I will say that now. But that was a thought that I didn't really have before watching this series. I just like, I go taco. That's my camping. But this has left me. You know what? I actually kind of want to go like group camping, just for the hell of it, with some friends someday, maybe. But until that day, I've got this. The only reason why I didn't watch it from the beginning with this weekend was because after I came back from Taco, I had not a whole lot of time to watch the 2 series I needed to, so I just kind of picked them both up where I left off from before and finished them off from there.
So, what was your rating?
Oh, I'm gonna give it a love it in the end, because I did really enjoy this by the end.
Nice.
Right on.
If not a high like it, it's just I enjoyed this too much to say anything less than that.
That's awesome. Okay, I went ahead and had this show for impressions just based on the poster art and the trailer. It just looked really cute. It absolutely delivered on the things that I was hoping for, which was just to be cute and pleasant. But not only was it pleasant, Yuru Camp was just such a little treat for me. This show came on during a season where I was just in a really, bad, not like, I was in kind of a bad place. I was stuck in a job that I hated, and I was just pushing through days, and I didn't have anything to look forward to. And every time I came home, I could just unwind from my stress and watch the show, and it would put me in a warm place. It would put a smile on my face. It was just really, really pleasant. Not only that, the show was just fun to watch, but it was also fun to experience. Probably my highlight from this show was I remember waking up one morning and it had snowed. And so we had a snow day, and I had the day off from work. So I made myself coffee. I was in my pajamas, wrapped myself in a blanket, and turned on Yuru Camp. And it was just max comfy. It was amazing. And the show just has so many fond memories for me and just really struck a chord with me in my heart. It reminded me that there's always little things in life that are out there to be enjoyed. And I really, really value the show for giving me that message. So pretty much expected, it absolutely gets a love it from me. And for an alternate anime recommendation, I would say Barakamon, because Barakamon is another show about going somewhere new and experiencing the atmosphere of a place, the scenery of a place, and also getting to know a cast of characters and seeing how you fit in with them, and kind of, as Cassie said, also the kind of found family sort of thing. So that's what I would say. John, what is your alternate anime recommendation? It's okay. I got you.
My alternate anime recommendation is New Game. Another cute girls doing cute things anime, but it's working in the game industry, and it was just really enjoyable. It's seeing them achieve the goals that they were setting out to do. Not that in New Game everything went perfect. There were times where things got in the way. Things happened and didn't go quite to plan, or something got thrown in the wrench. But still, it ultimately left me with a really warm, fuzzy feeling, much in the same way that Yuru Camp did. So,
right on.
But yeah, the secret society of Blanket expands.
The influence expands. Their mascot is too deadly. He must be stopped.
Well, I guess that's it for Yuru Camp, unless anybody has any additional comments or concerns.
Nope.
Opening and ending were fantastic. That is
shit,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
crap! I forgot to mention, I loved the opening a ton. The ending I liked a lot too, but the opening I loved. I sung along with it every time. And what me and Dominic would do is he would tap the beat of it either on my tummy or on my leg,
Aww.
whatever it was near him. So it'd be like, da da da. Da, 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 da.
Talk about a creative opening too, just the way it's shot, and it has all the credits in it. And the ending just sounds like it's. At first, when I was watching the show, I was like, Wait, is this the credits? Wait, I don't know if it's the credits or if this is the actual show. It sounds so scenic and it seems like it flows pretty damn well. Oh, okay, it's credits. Damn. Again, too much like Harvest Moon, too much like Animal Crossing. It tricked me. It tricked me.
I have very fond memories of the opening. I was tricked by the ED the first time. I thought it was a continuation of what was actually going on in the show, and I got very confused.
Yeah, that's what I was
Where
saying.
the hell did these other people come from?
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait, no. It's the actual ending. Okay.
Fun fact from me, I saw Asaka, who sings the opening song at Anime Boston, and then she briefly talked to the audience. Oh yeah, I was like crying, screaming Shiny Days. It was great. But she said that her favorite character is also Nadeshiko. So there you go, Cassie and Craig.
Nice.
I'm very happy. Nadeshiko's very good.
They're all
Very
good girls. Especially Rin and Nadeshiko. But Rin's best
Listen,
girl.
I also was a very big fan of, I think her name was Inuyama, the girl with the eyebrows.
Yes!
Did you guys ever notice that her eyebrows went onto her hats?
No.
You mean Aoi?
I have a few screenshots. I'd have to go find them, but there was an episode where she was like walking up. I think, what was her name?
Aoi
Craig?
or Aoi?
Inuyama.
Aoi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Inuyama
Inuyama
Akari.
was her last name. Yeah. I had it right, damn it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. In a few scenes when, like, for example, when they were walking up the hill with all their bags, her eyebrows were on top of her hat. It was very funny.
Nice.
Those big, bushy eyebrows.
She had the most pleasant voice, too. Whew. But yeah, anyway.
She did. I liked her a lot. Like, if it weren't for the other characters, she probably would have been pretty up there for me. I liked her a lot, especially because she seemed like the mom of the group. She is very cute. I liked her a lot. But moving on, because if we don't move on, we never will. And we talked about Yuru Camp a lot longer than I thought we would. So let's move on, people, to our next review and our double up episode. And that is Sora yori mo Tooi Basho, also known as A Place Further Than the Universe. It was animated by Studio Madhouse, which I've never heard of that studio before. They did, lots of no-name titles like No Game, No Life, Death Note, and Hunter x Hunter. Never heard of those either. Also did things like, Monster, Cardcaptor Sakura, also no-name titles with no backing to them,
Whatever.
The most trashy of series, that's what Madhouse touches. Joking aside, the animation and the work that Madhouse does is pretty damn stunning. And from what I know, I believe that this is actually an original. Like, there is a manga for it, but it was running alongside, I believe, this show. I'd have to go look it up. Or at least they ran with a lot of original content from where that picked up in the manga. I'd have to go double check if somebody wants to fact check that for me. In the thank you, Craig.
No problem.
While he's looking that up for me, so I don't sound like I'm totally up my own ass, I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. Filled with an overwhelming sense of wonder for the world around her, Mari Tamaki has always dreamt of what lies beyond the reaches of the universe. However, despite harboring such aspirations on the inside, her fear of the unknown and anxiety over her own possible limitations have always held her back from chasing them. But now, in her second year of high school, Mari is more determined than ever to not let any more of her youth go to waste. Still, her fear continues to prevent her from taking that ambitious step forward. That is, until she has a chance encounter with a girl who has grand dreams of her own. Spurred by her mother's disappearance, Shirase Kobuchizawa has been working hard to fund her trip to Antarctica. Despite facing doubt and ridicule from virtually everyone, Shirase is determined to embark on this expedition to search for her mother in a place further than the universe itself. Inspired by Shirase's resolve, Mari jumps at the chance to join her. Soon, their efforts attract the attention of the bubbly Hinata Miyake, who is eager to stand out, and Yuzuki Shiraishi, a polite girl from a high-class background. Together, they set sail toward the frozen south. So that's good. That's a good synopsis. Mel's doing better with its shit lately. Too bad it's dying.
Yes.
But
it's crippled, but at least the post-season, the synopses are better. You are correct. The manga ran is actually still ongoing, December 27th, 2017 until present. So there you go.
So I was right. Woohoo! So this is a Madhouse original, which, God, have you ever heard such beautiful words next to each other? A Madhouse original. And I might have to check out the manga eventually and see if it adds on to the ending or not. I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, let's talk about this one in depth, because it definitely has a story and a very powerful one.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see what everybody thinks about it. Also, special shout outs to our own friend Rin, because this actually was not one that was passed by any of us. And thank God she lifeboated it for us. This was actually a viewer's suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually very, very excited to talk about it. And I'm happy that she recommended it for us to watch. Thank you, Rin.
Can I say some fun facts about this show, too?
No.
I mean, if you don't...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Director! Atsuko Ishizuka. Directed Monster, Nana, Pet Girl Sakura So, and No Game No Life. Again, this is
So a bunch of other no-name titles.
Yeah, and most of the Madhouse. Head writer, Juki Hanada. They wrote Love Live and Love Live Sunshine, as well as Nichijou, Princess Jellyfish, Sound Euphonium, and Steins Gate, as well as Zero.
Damn.
And the music composition is Yoshiaki Fujisawa. They also did all the music for the original Love Live, not Sunshine, Revue Starlight, and Land of the Lustrous. Bam!
Bam. Also, no-name shows I've never heard of or we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, right? I don't know, I honestly like all these dumb credits, but, it's just me.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
You're bringing them up.
Yeah. Cass, what did you think of the show?
What did I think?
Yeah, surface level.
Firstly, I guess it's all about... Well, if we're going to go firstly into story, I think it's great that this is an evolving narrative, because that's just what it is. It starts out with a beginning goal, and then it slowly expands to bringing in the goals of several different girls and several different motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow all of those different motivations take them to one place. And I think that's fucking gorgeous and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that it was done so well. And I'm crying. It's a good story. It's got a perfect... And I told Cammie when we were watching the show, because we were watching it as it was airing, and I kind of jumped on the boat, no pun intended, a little late. And, but the last few episodes, I actually watched while they were airing, with tears running down my face for a whole different reason.
Yeah.
And, and the thing is that when we got to the last couple episodes, I was like, how are they going to resolve this?
Yeah.
And I messaged Cammie about it, and I was like, I'm so scared, Cammie. The show's so good,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm worried it's going to have a bad ending because so many things have not been resolved, especially with a specific character, and her motivations are one of the biggest reasons that the show is even moving. What's going to happen? And then it ended, and everything was answered and came to a beautiful conclusion, and I was like, God damn, why are they so good?
I think that's a huge jumping off point, is just the fact that, again, A, original story, B, it's so well contained and just has a full resolution to it. Like that's great, and unfortunately not something that we see a lot in this this modern anime scope. So I'm really glad you brought that up. That's a huge selling point.
I myself to piggyback off the pun here, got on the boat after it sailed, so I swam after the boat. When I went to my family's home for vacation in the summer, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna download this on my iPad, for offline viewing and just kind of watch it. I'm like, wow, this is, again, you start with a simple goal, but then you learn, you flesh out the characters in such a way that just like, they're pretty down to earth, and they're all from high school, and they all have like one simple goal to obviously go to Antarctica, penguins, bitches, penguins. And then it's just like, you get to learn the motivations, the backstories of these girls, and not only the girls, but like the people on the boat. And you're like, wow, how are they going to actually kind of like make you care about all these characters in 13 episodes? And to be honest, I thought it was going to end at episode 12, but then I looked, I'm like, no, I still have another episode to go. The last episode 12 is called A Place Further in the Universe. That's really self-titling here. They usually self-title at the end of the show, right? Nope, one more to go. Okay. And it just wraps itself up in a nice package. And I'm like, damn, this is really good.
Motherfucking penguins.
Motherfucking penguins!
One thing I'm actually really happy that we ended up talking about these two shows back to back, because I think that there is a theme in both Yuru Camp and A Place Further Than the Universe. One that works in a very big story narrative, such as A Place Further Than the Universe, and something that worked as well in a simple show of Yuru Camp is the beauty of coincidental meetings, because that's basically what happened in both shows. These people were brought together, and in one show it was to do a hobby, and in the other show it was, they say superficially that it's to go up to Antarctica, but it's for them to all find something in Antarctica. And I think that's what's so freaking great. Yeah. And the only reason any of those girls was able to come to a realization is, one, because they met each other, but also because they had this same journey that they went on together, but came out with completely different results. And I think that's just so fucking good. And I want to hit my desk. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Such good storytelling.
I guess I'm keeping that out.
No, don't edit it out. Leave it.
Okay.
Leave it.
I just completely agree with what everybody said story-wise. Another thing that I actually really liked about this show for the most part is a lot of times there was a self-contained, there were a lot of like small stories that kind of interweave themselves throughout the show, but a lot of times sometimes there'd be a self-contained story in an episode, and like I would think that, you know, sometimes I'm like, yeah, they're not really, it's going to be like delivered in a ham-fisted way, or it's like not going to be executed well. But like, I think that even when they tried to do just like the little focus stories in each episode, they were told really nicely and had like a good, it left me with a good like feeling, a good sense of conclusion. And I really appreciated that as well.
Yeah, agreed.
And some of those like one-off side story episodes, if you will, focused on like side characters, like, oh, random guy who is voiced by Kirito. Hello, what's your deal? Why are you suddenly okay.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he just ended up being a fun character that was just there. He kind of had a one shtick to him, but still.
That character was used to push to understand another character who was very important to the story. So that's what's cool about him as well. Nobody's here just to be there.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
And I was going to actually say that, like with one episode where someone loses their passport. I mean, it's kind of like a bit where you're like, man, this is kind of like a one-off adventure, but at the same time, you kind of get bonding experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes back.
Yes.
Like, there's, like, interactions that come back over and over again. Like, the two characters that interact in that episode and learn more about each other, there's a big, big plateau towards the end with them that cements their friendship and just makes that impact that much greater because you can tell that they're very similar people who deal with things in completely different ways. But they're so similar, and it's so cool. Speaking to that, too, there's little scenes that you think are inspirational in one way, and then you find out that they were meant to be something completely different later on. For example, there's something that's said when they first get to Antarctica, like the first thing that they all say, and then you find out later that that's something that they just didn't know what else to say because they didn't know what else to do. And it just turns into a more heartbreaking moment than it was in an inspirational one just a couple episodes earlier. So it's interesting. There's so many multifaceted character interactions and words said and the narrative playing with itself. It's just,
Yeah, and stories
Very
that
good.
subtly progress as well. Like, they'll drop hints in one episode and then, like... And some of them I was like, they're not really going to follow up on these. Like a certain side character before they all leave. And I was like, oh, this is just going to be hinted at. And then it's like, oh no, we're doing this right now. We're, like, facing this head on. Dang. I was always really impressed by that as well.
Do we want to talk about characters next? I think we've all basically... does anybody have any complaints about the story, actually? I don't really have any complaints about the story itself.
No.
I think my steam got a little slowed, like, when they were finally there, and then things kind of happened there. Like, there was a little bit of in-between where I was a little bit, like, less enthused, but I think that also just comes from, like, the steep hill that they are going to just reaching Antarctica, and then like the follow-up basically. So
yeah
very 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 mild complaint.
Yeah. I think for me, I actually had more trouble when they were traveling to get to Antarctica before they got on the boat. Like, for me, like, if the passport episode had not happened, I probably would not have enjoyed it as much. I think leading up to Antarctica, I was like, when are they going to get there?
When are they going to get to the boat?
And when they got there, but I still enjoyed that a whole lot, and I loved a lot of the storytelling that was going, so I can see where the lull is. I think that they had that lull a little bit to prepare you, because the last few episodes are a steamroller over your heart and your emotions.
Yeah.
And they just want to,
ease you in.
Lube you up before they ease it in,
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So characters.
No, characters. Don't lube the characters.
At least John laughed.
Don't lube the characters.
I didn't loot the characters. I looted the
story.
Of the story.
You just looted the story.
Yeah.
Cass,
I didn't loot the story. I looted the rising and falling action in the climax.
Giggity.
I have to make one sex joke per episode, and I couldn't find a good way to do it in Yuru camp.
I mean, we are explicit rating. It's true.
Have you noticed that there's a common theme with the beginning joke in every episode, that it's always a sex joke?
And 9 times out of 10, it's me making it. Yes.
Yes.
That's my shtick.
You're the perv.
I would like to say that I eloquently view things through a very refined lens. Speaking of refined, let's talk about these fucking amazing characters.
I was going to say refined. You're viewing it through the gutter?
No. I would not loot any of these girls. They're precious daughters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they got enough on their plate as it is.
Oh, God.
Everyone's favorite characters. Go, Cammy, you first.
Okay, sure. Yeah, my favorite character was absolutely Hinata. She is basically... It's funny because I tend to fall into like categories with favorite characters. A lot of the time, it's a character that I feel like I can relate to. Hinata is a rare case for me where at first I thought she was a character that I didn't really relate to, but a character that I admire. I think that she holds a lot of personality traits that I don't see in myself, but I wish I had, essentially. She's really driven and she's persistent, and one thing I love about her is that she really knows how to be able to laugh at herself and laugh like in the face of strife. Which is just something that, I would see her and I was like, man, I just want to be her. Like, I really like her a lot. And then, I find out later on, seeing some cracks in her personality and seeing that she is very human. And there are things about her that I could relate to even. I feel like she was just really dynamic. She intrigued me the most upon initial interaction before we really got a lot of her backstory. And I love her a lot. A lot.
A lot.
John, what about you?
My favorite character was Shirashi. Yuzuki Shirashi. And I think part of it was she could have easily been this like standoffish prude character that never really was able to fit in, and she definitely felt that way about the group until the others was like, no, fucking get in here, girl. But she has these moments where like she kind of has an air in front of her, but then you see like this side of her that she doesn't like to show that makes her really human. Like there's a scene where she's like ended up having to share a bed with Tamaki, and Tamaki just is not a she kicks about and rolls her over a lot in her sleep, so she's unconscious, dead to the world on the bed, just sprawled out starfish across the entire thing. And Shirashi like rolls her over so that she has some space on the bed, and she just flops back over. And you just got this like close up of Shirashi, and she's like, "I will murder you."
I'm gonna murder you. So good.
And I'm like, oh, I love her. And I just had so many moments with Shirashi after this that were along those lines that just made me like, I love her so much.
Nice.
What about you, Gregory? Who was your favorite character?
And my icon, it's Hinata as well. Not to like diminish the quality of all the other girls, like to varying degrees. I enjoyed the personalities of all of them. But Hinata, again, to kind of mirror what Cami was saying, it's just the fact that she's got this air of like, well, she's seen it all, she's done it all. I mean, this is like, not to go too far deep into her character, but like, she works at a convenience store, she's about to go to college, and she wants to go to Antarctica to like try and do something like a hurrah before like diving into cram school and all that, like buckling down. So, and it's just her easygoing nature and the fact that she's just like, yo, I can, again, as Kemi said, laugh in the face of adversity and just kind of roll with the punches. And then by the end of it, you do see that there's reasons why she's a teen going, like, a teenager going to college really fucking early. And she's fallible to a degree. Again, all these girls are fallible. So, good, again, 13 episode show to actually pull all that shit off is actually pretty damn impressive. So good on them.
Nice. I guess it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the kind of cop-out answer. I have like 3 favorite girls. I loved Yuzu, I loved Hinata, and I loved Shirase. I think that the reason Kimari is not one of my favorites is I believe that her biggest thing was getting up and going. And I feel like that's why she had less of an emotional impact on me until the very last episode. Whereas I felt like her trial was getting there. Which you would think would be the same thing for Shirase.
Yeah, Shirase.
Goodness gracious. They all have such hard names. Minus Hinata and Yuzu. But anyway, so I feel like the other 3 girls just left such an impact on me that I could pick out a bunch of different reasons why I would love them the most. But I think that Yuzu was the first one I clicked with. And I think that she's the one that I related to the most. In regards to her personality and also just how she doesn't take anybody's shit, but it also comes back to bite her in the end. She also has a very hard time making friends, which reminded me of a lot of myself in high school as well. And I think a lot of her development comes from just very simple interactions, and I think that it shows just how hard that can be for some people sometimes. And I think that's wonderful. The same could be said for Hinata in a way. I think Shirase actually grew on me more on a second viewing just because I was watching it with Dominic and she was his favorite character and he related so much to her. And then I just started seeing so many similarities to them, to each other, to both Dominic and Shirase, that I liked her even more on a second watch. So I think that it's great that there's just so much stuff to digest through all of the characters. And even by the end, Kimari, or Himari, whatever her name is, I know that she had a nickname, Kimari. She even kind of, scrubbed a few tears out of my eyes and with her little ending monologue. But for the most part, I feel like most of the other girls really gave me that development I came for. That's just how I feel, though.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I loved all of them, but I do agree that, I mean, the height of Kimari's characters and like basically right at the start of the journey, and then it really just like goes deep, and then you're a lot more involved in like everybody else.
Yeah. Not to go too deep into it, but Himari's character kind of just is the jumping off point to say, okay, we as a viewer are going along with her with this journey, and her character, like, the complexity of her character only really kind of ties in with her friend. To what extent, I'm not going to say.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I think that she also is the character that's holding them together.
Okay.
And also,
that's true.
The one that, like, I don't want to, like, denote her as a character. I just think that the other girls took the forefront in their own personal journeys. But there was a moment towards the end where you realize that Kimari also has her, because, like, that's the thing, like, all good stories, all good journeys have to come to an end. And I do think that affects Kimari, and on a second watch, I realized that, and maybe we can talk about that in the small spoiler section we'll hopefully have. But Kimari is also a deep character. I just think that she doesn't have as much to sort out as the other girls do.
Yeah.
And that's not a detriment to her character.
I can get that.
Or to say that she doesn't have any character development. She does. It's just more muted in comparison.
Yeah, I can get that.
After the initial takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
It comes back at the end in the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long and short of it, it's a great, great, great cast of characters.
Even the supporting
It's
cast.
a character piece.
Yes.
Yeah. John, you haven't got to talk a whole lot. What was your thoughts on the characters overall before we move on to production?
Yeah, like, I agree. Like, I loved all the characters that we met. I couldn't think of anyone that, like, really came to the foreground at any point that I was like, why is this person here? Everyone was, like, yeah, you've got the 3 that ended up being, like, these are the ones that have the most to sort out, but it wouldn't have worked if Kimari wasn't there. She was the glue between them, and she does have her moments. So yeah, just 100% agree with everything you said. It's a very lovable cast.
See.
And they work really well. I think that this is both a character piece and also a beautiful narrative, which you don't normally get with anime these days. Like, sometimes you'll have one that's very outstanding in comparison to the other. Like, oh, these characters carried the show. Or, damn, this story was so damn good. This is one of those few shows that I've seen in a really long time where both the story and the characters were just so well constructed, in my opinion. Like, I think that they work together so well. The point of the story and the narrative and all of the themes that it's trying to present to you are beautifully woven into each and every one of these characters. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful tapestry, a piece of art. What do you guys think of the art in the show?
Art
What do you think of the production?
Gorgeous.
It's
Again,
lovely.
More scenery. You want to see the lighting in the show? Damn.
Goodness.
Were they in
Sunrise,
Shinjuku
sunsets.
in that one scene? Because like that scene where they're running is just brilliant, and
Beautiful.
the scenery of the
I
area.
believe that was Shinjuku. Yeah.
Ugh, so
There's
good.
a scene where Hinata actually talks about I came out here because I wanted to be somewhere
Oh yeah.
where everything like is so open and I can view everything and there's nothing here that like reminds me of there's nothing here but everything, and she like holds her hands out and it does like a pan of the scenery and it's one of the most beautiful scenes in the show. So nice. I don't have a whole lot to complain about in regards to production. I mean, like there were stills occasionally, but it was typical stills, but every still was beautiful too.
Yep.
All the character designs were really nice
Yep.
and individual. Like you didn't have same face syndrome, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Everybody looked very different.
That's what I'm saying. It's Madhouse for you, man.
Had very specific hairstyles.
Expressions were also great.
Yep. The way they walked through places, the way they ran through places, motion was always extremely fluid. I don't think I even spotted CG, even when there was CG, which was cool. One really cool scene that I remember was when the boat was raising up and smashing into the ice.
Ice breaking, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do
And I was
recall
like,
that.
how did they do this without it not looking terrible? Because it looked really nice.
That budget.
I think they definitely did their homework about, like, how does this work? How does it look? And probably, like, went one for one, like, made sure they got it fucking right. And that just all plays off with this series. They definitely did their homework. They definitely did their research and got it right.
I think that there is a technique that some anime tries to pull off with having more of like a pastel color palette and then having the like highlighted outlines of everything. And some shows I think do a good job of it, i.e. like Horomusuko. Some shows do not do a very good job of it. Tsuki ga Kirei, I'm looking at you. This show had something sort of similar, I thought. Like it was definitely more muted than like Horomusuko, but there's a nice little like lighting and brightness that like outlined a lot of the characters, and I really liked it. I thought it was very nicely done.
Yeah.
Kimari's hair especially looked almost pastel-y sometimes.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I also like that they took the time to like show like natural phenomenon. Like I remember they saw like the sun. I can't remember what it was called, but it looked like the sun was like plummeting into the earth, and it was like they were like, "Oh, it looks apocalyptic, don't it?" And it was like this really beautiful.
Oh yeah, it creates like a pillar of light from the sun because of like the ice particles in the air causes it to look. But yeah, like fucking stunning imagery though.
And the night lights. I know they're in the northern lights up north, but I don't know what they called them in Antarctica. My brain's dying. But what they saw on the boat right when they left?
Yeah, the aurora.
What?
The aurora borealis.
That's it. Yeah, that was beautifully animated as well. They went out of their way to make like so many things just look so beautiful.
Aurora australis, I believe.
Oh, is borealis the north one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Aurora australis, and then borealis, I think, is the northern lights. I could be mistaken.
Yeah. I want to go up to Canada and see those before I die. The likeliness of me being able to go to Antarctica is very slim.
Yeah.
Maybe we should all go to Antarctica. Take a cruise. They do exist. I looked it up.
Hey, we could go camping in Canada and see the aurora borealis. 2 in 1.
I'm so game. Let's go, guys. Yes. Let's plan it.
Oh my god.
Any chat box trip. 2028.
Hey.
I'd rather go camping than go on a boat voyage and then get completely incapacitated by seasickness for an entire episode. Oh man, that seemed rough.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, the waves are way, way rough down there. Because, like they said, like, there's nothing to catch the wind. It's just all open ocean.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, as a result, the current, not only the current of wind, but the current of the water and the waves, they are plowing into that, and they're going for, effectively, the direction of the water that the currents that they're going in is going straight 90 degrees on them. But they still need to continue in that direction.
Yeah.
And so it's causing it to rock so badly.
That is something that I really actually love, just to bounce back for a second. But, like, that in story, this, like, traveling or doing this kind of journey is shown to be something incredibly valuable and worth it, but they don't glamorize it or make it convenient. Like, they show that it's hard.
No.
And I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
They have to train.
It's super hard.
Rigorous
they get
exercise
seasick,
into it.
they get sunburns, they get, like, it's not...
Mari.
It's not glamorous.
Yeah.
Speaking of another production thing, that insert song, though.
All of
it.
them.
This, again, the entire soundtrack and the insert song, fucking grand.
The opening's very nice. The ending I just found very pleasant and nice to listen to. And then there's a specific insert song. I can't remember what it was called. Craig linked it a while back. But it was like every time it queued up, I was like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
That magic track. It's one of those soundtracks and, like, the full collection that, like, I can listen to it and literally I'm just instantly, like, swept right back to, like, when I first saw it and that, like, swell of feelings that I had, you know? And it makes me reflect and I'm like, damn, that was a great show. Like, I love it.
It's Haru Ka Toko is what
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
Nice.
The voice acting in the show is fantastic as well.
Yep.
Everybody did an amazing job. It obviously doesn't have an English dub yet. I hope it gets one. It'd be nice if more people could watch this show, and I know that a lot of people sometimes will only consume their anime if it has an English dub, and I want everyone to watch this show.
Yeah, and it would sell. I think it would sell well. It's a universal story.
It is, and it's just, there's just so much, especially, like, young children can take out of this, high school kids can take of it. I think that watching this show when I was in my late 20s is actually better than if I watched it when I was younger, because it's just got this, it's got this message about not giving up on what you think you may want or need in life, and just seizing the moment. And I'm like, oh god, I've never wanted to go out in a boat as much as I do right now. Buy camping gear. Fuck both these shows.
Cass, are you saying you want to do what Paul did and then travel around the world?
God, yes, let's go, guys. Let's just get in a boat.
I've always
pitch a tent on the boat.
See, at least like
On a boat.
at least in both of these instances, they had groups to like kind of do this shit with. I would not be able to do half that shit Han Solo. I could not do it alone.
Oh no, I couldn't. Like there were so many times when going back to Yuru camp, Ren was camping solo, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Like I am all kinds of not traveling by myself, but traveling in groups is great because you have that. And I think Yuru camp did show that you can have self-discovery in both situations.
Yeah.
But the self-discovery that the girls in Place Further found together as they grew as people, both in similar and different ways, is great. And there's a wonderful little monologue Shirase has towards the end that's similar to that, and talks all about how it's about the people that are there with you in a moment that define the moment instead of where you may be or what you might be doing. It's the everything that's around you that takes part, and it's just so fucking beautiful.
Yes.
Do you want to use that as a way to segue into your rating there, Cass?
If everybody else wants to, is there anything else we want to discuss before we go into ratings?
No, without spoiling shit, so go ahead.
Cammy?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, let's go roll right into these ratings so we have at least some time to do maybe a short spoiler room because, God, I'm sure everybody has some feelings.
Less spoilers.
Whew. Ah, yes. So I will try and keep this quick and concise. If I loved Yuru Camp, I super love this show. This show is the closest I've gotten to rating something a 10 in a long time.
Damn.
It's just so good.
Damn.
It's like my anime of 2018 so far. Nothing's surpassed it yet. Literally nothing. Because it just touched me in a place that I actually really needed it to at the time. It's one of the few shows that I picked up on a recommendation and then started watching weekly. And then needed to watch it with someone else so we could cry together and call. It just, and not just because it was sad, but because it just made me feel so many different things. I feel like I grew with these characters, even though I don't think I've changed at all. And I think that says a lot. I don't know what else to say about this show other than it's a beautiful character piece. It's a beautiful narrative. It's a beautiful production. It's the closest thing to a cute girl's doing cute things for me that has almost become a masterpiece ever. And that says a lot of things because it's not just cute girls doing cute things. It's cute girls doing amazing things. And I want to see more of it. Please. Madhouse, do more originals. Please. Good God. So good. I love the show. So amazing. I'm crying. Anyway, alternate recommendation real fast. Another movie, it's actually a movie I want to recommend, is Kokoro ga Sakebitagatterunda. I butchered that, but the English title is Anthem of the Heart. I think similarly, it also has a female character who is trying to overcome past trauma, and she learns to do so within a group of friends by trying to achieve something that she loves to through song. It's also a very underrated movie, I feel. It has the character designer behind Anohana and some of the other staff behind Anohana that worked on it. And it definitely shows. There's a lot of heart in Anthem of the Heart, no pun intended. And I just rewatched it recently and it still definitely holds up. I think a lot of people can relate to that movie. And if you definitely love musicals, it's one of the few animes that talks about musicals and making one and what goes into it, as well as the people who are involved. So that's my recommendation.
Also,
I'm gonna go cry now.
Also, a lot of the music in Anthem of the Heart are references to other musicals because they choose to take music from musicals and write their own lyrics to them, but still keep the same tune.
Yep. I don't want to say any more about it, but yeah, it's pretty good. Go watch it. It's a great movie. Made me cry. Not as much as this show did, but it also touched some of those similar feelings of get out there and try and grow yourself as a person and don't let your past hold you back.
Yep.
Good themes. Next.
Okay.
I will go next.
Go, Craig.
Okay.
Yo. As I said it before, I'll say it once more. I got on the boat a little too late. I swam to the boat with my amazing swimming talent to catch up to the boat so they could lifeboat me onto this boat to watch Place Further than the Universe to see penguins! Motherfucking penguins, in fact. So, this was pleasant. I honestly, again, kind of like, not to say this is a derogatory thing or something to like demean the show, but I was like, this seems like a cute girl's going to Antarctica, and Laid Back Camp is a cute girl's camping. My mileage may vary for this show. I don't know. But again, the cast of characters kind of just, I was enthralled by it. I just liked them. They were really down to earth, and they all had realistic problems. And as a guy that's now 31 and hasn't left the United States and kind of wanted to do what Paul did and world travel, but not having enough financial money to do it, I wish I could do that shit, but we'll get there one day before I turn 50. So if you hadn't gathered by now, give this show a shot. It's one of my favorite shows of 2018, right up there with the Devilman Crybaby and the Batman Ninja. But it's baller. It's fucking really high like it. Like, fucking as close as I'm gonna get to a love it as you can. Alternate anime recommendations. Hey, if you were tuned into the anime sphere last year, then you probably heard of The Maid in Abyss, the show that everyone praised up the butt and said it was the second coming of God. It's got not nearly as dark a themes as Place Further does not have nearly as dark themes as Maid in Abyss, but still it's a sense of you're going out to the unknown, and you don't know what you'll get when you won't know when you'll find when you get there, but when you get there, you'll be impressed, to say the least. Or, in Maid in Abyss's case, you'll be horrified. So, that's what I got. Check them both out if you have the time.
Get that self-discovery on in two different kinds of moods.
I finished off last time, so John, do you want to have the final review this time?
So to continue with Craig's analogy of getting on the boat, it was actually Cammy that reeled me in on watching this. We was going to watch Girls Last Tour, but I couldn't watch it because
life is hard.
Fuck you for not being in America, apparently.
You gotta get over to America, apparently.
But then we was like, okay, so what else can we watch? Because we're in the mood to watch something together. And then Kat was like, can you watch this? Yes, we're watching this. And we watched the first 2 episodes together, and just like, that running scene. And I've just been meaning to watch this, but sort of like just busy with so much shit that's the only reason why I hadn't watched Yuru Camp and this before this weekend. It's because just busy with so much other crap going on. But anywho, really glad that I did finally watch this and 100% into getting through this series. And then I had Cassie was like, tell me when you get to this episode. Tell me what you think. I cried. I loved this. It was great. Sobbing mess by the end of it. So
yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. I love this series a whole lot. So far, it does look like it's going to be Anime of the Year, as it currently stands, but we'll see. But other anime recommendations, I actually struggled with this one, but Kanon 2006, another series that made me cry a whole lot, and is about girls overcoming. It focuses on the girls overcoming like issues that they've got going on and becoming better people and making you cry while they do it. So I love Kanon 2006, especially 2006 version. I I do still love the Canon 2002 version, but if I'm gonna say watch one or the other, watch 2006. It's so much better.
There you go.
But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Nice.
Okay. So, like I said with Yuru Camp, since these two shows aired in the same season, they both were a pickup that I really, really appreciated at the time. So where Yuru Camp kind of told me, to really embrace like the simple joys. Really, this show reminded me that there are things out there to look forward to and to reach towards and to run towards. This show really just kind of instills, I think, in everybody the reminder that you can have dreams and they are capable to reach, and striving to reach them is really valuable in the long run. This show just, really struck a chord with me. I love all of the characters. As Cassie said, you really grow with them. You get to be attached to them. You laugh with them. You cry with them, which is just such a reward. And I think that, I think everybody could get something out of this show. I'd tell anybody to watch this. If you don't like it in the first couple episodes, that's fine, but I think not checking it out is doing a disservice to yourself. So undoubtedly this show gets a love it from me. And the greatest lesson that this show taught me is simply that it's much more beautiful when you see it for yourself in person. That goes for anything in life.
Hashtag
Don't
deep.
make me cry again.
I was going to,
Hashtag
girl, I was
deep.
thinking about it and I was like tearing up while you were doing your review too. I feel you. All right.
Okay, so love it's across the board. Do we want to slip in for maybe a short 5-minute spoiler review? I don't want to spoil
5 minutes.
too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to convince people to watch the show and then they slip into our spoiler room and have everything spoiled.
Okay.
But maybe I thought that we could discuss the things that were most important to us and leave it at that.
Okay.
This is also an episode that's running kind of long.
That's fine, because I was like, I don't want to I want them to be intrigued by this show and discover the mystery.
Because there's a few things that maybe we could discuss. Hell, we don't even have to be spoiler about our spoilers. But I did want to discuss a few things, and maybe everybody else did too, but we'll keep it short.
Yes.
Okay.
And before we do, watch Shirobako if you liked Place Further. Sorry.
No,
Yes,
that's-
sorry, we forgot too. We will get used to this whole, recommending things to people.
Eventually.
Why do you want to recommend Shirobako?
Because it has girls that I grew with and cried with, and it reminded me to achieve my dreams. The end.
It also has donuts. Don't forget donuts.
Dun dun donuts, I
Who doesn't
wanna
love
go
donuts?
nuts. Okay, yes.
That being said, go check out our socials.
Yes.
They're in the description. I don't feel like saying them again. Let's go to spoilers.
Hey!
Anything anybody specifically wants to bring up?
So, outside of the thing that I quoted about it's much more beautiful when you see it in person, that laptop. That's all. That's just...
Oh my god. Yeah,
Fucking-
that broke me.
That's try watching this in your family's living room where you're trying to be nonchalant and be like, oh god, there's tears falling down my face. Oh fuck. Ow. Ow. Ow, this
I'm
hurts.
actually, as much as I love watching anime with my significant other, I'm really happy that I watched this show by myself first. Because right when we got to that scene, he was like, God, that computer would be so dead.
Oh my god, Get did the same thing. He was trying to do the math and he's like, no, there wouldn't be that many. And I'm like, no, just don't fucking question it right now. Just cry.
The logic dictates that the battery would have depleted and froze over.
And the thing I said was, okay, Dominic, so think of it this way. One, they were in Antarctica, so most likely they had, freeze-resistant laptops and pretty decent technology, especially because they were the leads. She probably bought a decent laptop that could handle it. Two, they found the laptop underground, where it would have been warmer and away from the cold. Three, it's a fucking anime.
Exactly.
4, they probably didn't show her charging the laptop, and I'm pretty sure she charged it for a bit before she opened it. But I think he was just trying to make a comment.
Yeah,
But still, I was like, don't ruin this
I
moment
feel
for
you.
me, damn.
girl, I feel you.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, when I thought to myself as the show progresses, just yo, Shirase wants to find her mom. And I'm like, yo, if they actually find her mom in Antarctica, damn, they had rations in there. And then when they didn't find her, I was like, Oh, please don't. Please don't say that they're gonna find her corpse, because if so, that's fucking terrifying.
No. I'm pretty sure that if her mom could have been found, they would have found her by then.
Yeah.
That search party went on for a while, but I think when she meant she wanted to find her mother, it was always not a physical sense.
Yeah.
It was her mom's ideals and her mom's place that she loved. It was never physically finding her mother.
Yeah.
That'd be a little bit morose.
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh god, please don't find the corpse next to the laptop.
I loved that reveal. Like, for a lot of the first half of the show, we would get previews of the scene where it was storming, and then you hear her mom's friend calling like Takako, and then it just zooms out.
Yeah.
But like when they showed that full scene and she just said it's beautiful, and then like the signal cut off, and then you just saw her friend like so distraught, I was like, oh fuck. Oh
yeah, just listen to your friend die, essentially. You're just like, oh god.
Also, something that I picked up is she probably died like seeing the aurora, most likely.
Yeah,
exactly.
Frozen to death probably.
And it's like, you're freezing to death, and because they were there in the winter, and I'm guessing it calmed down enough for her to use the radio, and like it was this thing that like she sent that email, but I'm like, she's seeing the same sight her mom did, and
that scene fucked me up so
probably
bad.
Kicked in.
It was perfect. That was like the perfect end. Oh, what did you guys think about like Megumin's last little laugh at the end? Because like, I'm happy that Kimari inspired her, but I'm also kind of like, fuck you. You can't just, like, pick up and try to do what she did.
Their dream.
I think the implication is that she probably went on, like, one of those Antarctic cruises or something.
I'd hope so, man.
I don't think that she actually, because, like, they had to go through so much fucking work to even get on that expedition team. I don't think she would have done the same. But you can actually, if you want, I looked this up, you can take a cruise to the Antarctic.
Mm-hmm.
And they have Antarctica. Granted, you can't go into deep Antarctica where like researchers are going.
Yeah.
But you can go there. So that was my thought. But I kind of was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Especially because that's the last part you see in the show too. It's like the last 2 seconds, and I'm like, wow, that's special. But it's cool that she was inspired, I suppose.
Yeah. So she went to the Arctic as opposed to the Antarctic. So.
And I mean, I liked their conflict. I liked that whole scene right before Kimari left a lot, because I do think that while you know, what Megumin was doing and what she was going through, like, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice feelings. It was like dark, complicated things. But I mean, I could also understand, you know, she's human just like the other characters, and I could understand that. And I think it was really cool that they gave light to kind of a very real but also like uncomfortable sort of like rocky friendship sort of thing.
Yeah, I can get that.
So many moments in this series that I was just like, yes, so much this.
Yuzuki's birthday on Christmas.
Birthday, the
Hinata's video call with their track team.
That fucked me up so hard.
That was by the time you were watching ahead of me, and then I remember you messaged me and you're like, Cammy, you have to tell me when you get to this episode.
Well, yeah, because even by then, Hinata was your best girl, and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. And I'm like, fucking please! I need to talk to you about this. And you were, but what I actually said was, that's fine. Just let me know when you get there.
I love you so much.
This is fine.
That was one of the episodes that actually solidified, like, Hinata for me as a character, and also Shirase as well. I loved that speech.
I love that those two had a lot of, like you mentioned in our review, like, they really kind of grew through each other, and I liked that. It was kind of unexpected. I would have thought, if anything, we would have focused on, like, Kimari and Shirase, but that little bond between Hinata and Shirase was unexpected and very nice.
And on a second watch, Himari and Yuzu help each other out a little bit more in the background, too. It's very interesting. You notice way more stuff when you watch it a second time.
I bet.
And Shirase and Hinata's interactions all started with a passport in Singapore.
Good God. That episode fucked me up a lot. And then I laughed, because durians.
The durians.
But yeah, that's really all I had.
Also, just great comedy moment that I have to shout out when they're in Shinjuku and then they like push Kimari out to be sexy and she does this stupid ass little pose and they're like, "What are you doing? What the fuck?" And then Shirase is like, "I can't act sexy," even though they're like, "But you have the best body." The comedy in the show is also really good.
The comedy of it.
Yeah.
Fucking the fucking frozen noodles, cup noodles, that one scene with the chopsticks still frozen to them. I was like, what the fuck?
I think the scene that made me laugh the hardest, and it still made me laugh really hard a second time through, was when I think it was the last episode, and Shirase was like surrounded by penguins, and she was like, "Help me, but don't, but help me, but they smell, but I'm so happy, but they smell, but I'm so happy," and it just continued for a while, and it was very cute.
That was good.
I laughed very hard.
And I'm not allowed within 5 meters. Oh, fucking help me, but they're so cute.
It's so good. It's so good.
One last spoiler before maybe we get out that I want everybody's opinion on, because I loved this touch. How did you guys feel about Shirase's moving on haircut? Because I liked that a lot.
It's symbolic.
I liked the symbolism of it a lot, and that's what matters. Like visually, I was like, yeah, I liked your long hair, but like, no, I really liked what it represented. And she looked more like her mom, and that was also nice.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the little smile she had at the end. It was really cute.
That big grin.
What good girls, man, damn it.
Oh, good girls.
Oh,
anybody have any more spoilers?
No.
Yes.
Not a spoiler, but God, I just love the penguin comparison during the end credits of like the penguins to being the girls, like, and how at the end they all just like have their little bow and like, it just that fucks me up. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
I don't want to spoil it, but like Gin and that whole progression.
Mm-hmm.
It's good content. Dean and Shirase's interactions were handled with a lot of care.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. But yeah. This episode's running long, and I know it's 11 o'clock where Cammy is. So
you.
let's wrap it up, guys.
All right. Back in.
All right, this was a fun double up episode. We will see you next week for more fun with half of us here. So,
Bitchin'.
Later, guys. Oyasumi. Go follow your dreams.
Bye.
Good night.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
And again, if you want to see people follow their dreams on an open, windy road of adolescence, check out Saber Progress, saberprogress.com, soundcloud.com/saberprogress.
Anyway, oyasumi, everyone.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night.